Hello, hello. Let's see if I can do this without losing. There we go. I'm actually fixing to be out of pocket for a few minutes, but I wanted to come on here and just do an update because I just saw the press conference where the National Park Service broke in and did a small briefing stating that they had recovered a body. They had notified the Petito family. They are basically just waiting for the coroner confirmation, and basically they're anticipating that this is Gabby. So such sad news, such absolutely sad news today. Our hearts and prayers go out to the Petito family and her friends and family that are mourning her. They stated, the National Park Service stated that while they are awaiting confirmation, that they have went ahead and notified Gabby's family that the body has been found and it is expected to be identified as her by the coroner. So we should be receiving confirmation from the coroner's office, and I'm sure they will update us as soon as they have it. This is a very sad scenario. This is a very sad case. Apparently it was the video from a YouTubing family that broke the case, that identified the van on a specific road in a specific campground, and apparently there was some indication of someone in a field digging in the background. You can't make this stuff up, people. This is why true crime is so scary and so heart-wrenching, because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, I think we all kind of, like, when someone doesn't show up for that long, that is such a homebody and is so close to their family, you expect something to be bad news. So now, at least looking at the positives, and it's very hard to look at the positives, but at least looking at the positives from this point, at least now the police have enough to get a warrant and arrest for questioning and holding, because they actually have a crime that's been facilitated that they can place motive and arrest and hold and question, and so at least they have the ability now to, you know, if they find Brian Laundrie, at least they can take him into custody now. And so maybe if they do recover him, he will not be misplaced again. So my concern at this point is, I have reviewed, you can look at my first two parts, and the first part, his behavior threw me off. The second part, when his shoulders calmed down and his nerves calmed down and he relaxed, I saw very much some victim behavior and some fig leaf protection behavior, and which made me think that, and this is just me and my opinions and what I'm afraid may come out when he decides to speak and his attorney speaks. I think that the scenario that the cops probably stumbled upon the other day is something that most of us might think may be a one-time ordeal, but because of some of the patterned responses and patterned behavioral responses they had to each other, it told me that they've done this before, and that they have patterned responses to this patterned behavior, and therefore it's happened. It's probably a cycle, something that happens in a cycle. So this is a learning lesson. This is like, we have to learn from this. We cannot let this be something that we don't educate about domestic violence and mental health and emotional well-being. We need to educate. And so we need to look at this very carefully and say, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been with somebody, how much you trust somebody, if you get into those types of cycles where you are having episodes such as we witnessed the other day with the body cam footage, there needs to be a time of separation and a cooling period. And there needs to be other people that help mediate the ordeal, because it can be dangerous. But I fully expect for him and his attorney to stand up and say that this was behavior that was a cyclic thing. It had a cycle. No, ma'am. It had a cycle. My dog is being a turd. But I think it's behavior that had a cycle and that he found himself in routinely, and that perhaps maybe they had handled with those pattern coping behaviors before, but apparently potentially something didn't work at another time when their relationship was strained, perhaps. I don't know. That is just me completely throwing out my opinion and thought process. And it could be something else that will throw us another curveball. This has been a curveball case for me. So I just wanted to come on. I did just see that, so I wanted to notify my viewers. And we need to send good energy and good thoughts to the family and friends of Miss Petito. And certainly, certainly, certainly look at this, learn from this, talk about this, educate from this, so that we do not see relationships and domestic issues that do this again and again. Educate, learn from it, and let's stop this from occurring. This does not have to occur. I'm going to be out of pocket for a little bit, but I will most likely be back tomorrow evening, and anything that I do receive from news outlets or they put out public domain, I will absolutely update tomorrow evening. So I appreciate everybody checking in, and I'm going to follow this very closely. And now you have my first thoughts on it, and I'm going to be quiet for a day and see what occurs, and then we'll see where it goes. But absolutely send up a prayer for the family and friends, and y'all, it's time to come together and educate, learn, and let's stop this from ever happening again. I'll talk to you later.